This one is going to sting a little, because if you're watching this, there's a good chance you're smart. You read, you research, you understand compound interest, you know what an index fund is, you've probably listened to enough podcasts that you could teach a basic finance class. And yet, the money isn't there. Not really. Not the way you expected it to be by now. And that gap between how much you know and where you actually are, financially, is exactly what this video is about. I'll explain why it happens in the first half, and in the second half, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. Stay until the end. The fix is the whole point. Part 1, the intelligence trap. Here's the first thing nobody says out loud. Intelligence, real intelligence, can work against you financially, not because smart people make dumb decisions, but because smart people make a very specific kind of mistake. They optimize for understanding instead of action. They research instead of execute. They wait until they know enough, and enough never arrives. Think about how this plays out. A regular person hears about index funds, opens an account, and starts putting money in. A smart person hears about index funds, reads 6 books, compares 30 funds, builds a spreadsheet, discovers a debate about factor investing, goes down that rabbit hole for 3 months, and still hasn't put a single dollar in. The regular person is building wealth. The smart person is building knowledge. And knowledge without action is just expensive entertainment. This is the first trap. Overanalysis. It looks like diligence. It feels like responsibility. It is neither. It is delay dressed up in the language of preparation. And every month of delay has a real cost that most people dramatically underestimate. Here's the second trap. Smart people believe they can outthink the system. They think if they just find the right strategy, the perfect timing, the optimal allocation, they can engineer a better outcome than someone who just started consistently and never stopped. They can't, because the market doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards patience and consistency. 2 things that feel boring to a mind that's used to solving its way out of problems. The best financial strategy for most people is boring by design. And smart people are terrible at tolerating boring. And there's a third trap, and this one is the quietest. Smart people are more likely to talk themselves out of discomfort. They have the vocabulary for it. The market timing isn't right. I want to build up an emergency fund first. I'll start properly next year when things settle down. Every one of those sentences sounds reasonable. Every one of them is a story. A well-constructed, intellectually defensible story that ends in the same place. Not started, not moving, still waiting. Meanwhile, the financially successful people they admire didn't get there by knowing more. They got there by deciding earlier, by starting messier, by tolerating the discomfort of imperfect action long enough for the results to arrive. Part 2, the knowledge-action gap. There's a name for this in psychology, the knowing-doing gap. You know what to do, you're not doing it. And the gap between those 2 things isn't filled by more information. It's filled by a different kind of decision. Here's what's actually going on. When you're smart, you've been rewarded your entire life for knowing things. School rewarded you for it. Work probably rewards you for it. Your self-image is tied to it. So when you encounter a domain where knowing isn't enough, where doing is what counts, it creates a quiet identity crisis. If I'm so smart, why isn't it working? And the answer most smart people reach, without realizing it, is that they must need to know more, so they learn more. And the gap stays exactly the same size. The money isn't waiting for you to understand it better. It's waiting for you to do something with it. And the sooner you accept that financial outcomes are almost entirely determined by behavior, not intelligence, the sooner things actually start to change. Here's a useful way to think about it. 2 people start investing at the same time. One is a finance professional who picks individual stocks with genuine skill. The other is an average earner who sets up an automatic transfer into a boring index fund and never touches it. Over 30 years, the data is clear on who wins more often. Not because the professional is dumb, because the amateur system removed every opportunity to be smart. Smartness in investing is often just another word for interference, and interference is expensive. Part 3. How to fix it. Here's where it shifts. These aren't abstract ideas. These are specific moves, in order, starting now. Fix 1. Decide that done is better than optimal. The single most powerful shift a smart person can make is accepting that a slightly suboptimal action taken today beats a perfect plan executed never. Pick an investment account. Any major reputable platform. Open it today. Put whatever you have in a broad index fund. Not the best one. A good one. The difference in returns between a good index fund and the best one is a fraction of the cost of waiting another 6 months to decide. You are not leaving money on the table by starting imperfectly. You are leaving money on the table every single month you delay. Decide that done beats optimal. Then do something. Fix 2. Automate before you think. Smart people lose money to themselves, not to bad decisions, to indecision. The fix is to remove decision-making from the equation entirely. Set up an automatic transfer from your account to your investment account on the same day your paycheck arrives. Before you've budgeted it, before you've thought about it, before the depleted, stressed, end-of-day version of you gets to weigh in. Automate the behavior, so the behavior doesn't depend on how you feel that week. $20 a week automated beats $200 invested occasionally when you remember and feel ready. Consistency is worth more than size. Automate it, then forget it's happening. Fix 3. Stop reading about money and start doing money. This one is blunt. If you have read more than 3 books about personal finance and still don't have consistent investing behavior, the books are not the problem, and more books are not the solution. You have enough information. You have had enough information for a while. What you're doing when you pick up another book, listen to another podcast, watch another video, is giving yourself the feeling of progress without the cost of action. It feels productive. It isn't. Put the next hour you would have spent consuming financial content toward opening an account, setting up an automatic transfer, or paying down a debt. 1 hour of doing will move your financial life further than 10 hours of learning at this point. You know enough. Use it. Fix 4. Make boredom the goal. Seriously, your financial strategy should bore you. If you find yourself excited about a new investment approach, a new asset class, a clever tax maneuver you read about, that excitement is a warning sign. Excitement in investing is almost always expensive. The financially successful people who aren't finance professionals are boring. They own index funds. They never touch them. They add to them every month automatically. They think about their money approximately 0 times between contributions. They are spectacularly aggressively uninterested in financial innovation. And they are building wealth faster than the person refreshing market data 3 times a day. Train yourself to be bored by your finances. The boredom means it's working. Fix 5. Measure behavior, not balance. Here's the last one, and it changes everything about how this feels day to day. Stop measuring your financial progress by your account balance. Your balance will go down. Markets move. Emergencies happen. If your measure of success is the number on the screen, you will be demoralized constantly, and demoralization produces inaction. Measure behavior instead. Did I make my automatic contribution this month? Did I stick to my spending plan? Did I avoid touching the buffer account? Did I make a payment toward the debt? Yes or no? Behavior is what you control. Balance is what you don't. Measure what you control, and over time, the behavior produces the balance, not the other way around. The shift. Here's what all 5 fixes have in common. None of them are about knowing more. Every single one is about doing differently, which means you already have what you need to start, right now, with the information you have. At the income level you're at, in the exact situation you're in. The smart people who stay poor aren't staying poor because they lack understanding. They're staying poor because understanding became a substitute for action. The fix isn't a new strategy. It's a new relationship with imperfect motion. You don't need a better plan. You need to start the plan you have. Imperfect, incomplete, slightly uncomfortable. Start it anyway. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't filled with more research. It's filled with decisions. Small ones. Repeated ones. Starting this week. You already knew that. Now do something with it.